episode of The Most Creative Person Alive. If you aren't aware, this is a favorite show of mine that I do on this channel, where basically I'm trying every different creative hobby in the hopes of becoming the most creative person alive. We've done realistic pencil drawings, chalk art, Sunny Angel makeover, and I feel like I am forgetting one. I might not, I might have only done 3 so far. But if you want to catch up on the episodes that I've done before, I'll leave the link to the playlist down in the description below. But this week's episode is going to be Polymer Clay, which if you don't know, Polymer Clay is a clay that you bake in the oven. A lot of sculptors use it, like I know the channel Nerdy Crafter uses Polymer Clay particularly, but I've never worked with Polymer Clay. I've worked with air dry clay before, but I've never tried Polymer Clay, so that is what we are going to be trying in this video. And let's stop my rambling. Let's just go see the Polymer Clay.
Okay, here is the clay I am using. I am using the Sculpt Primo in the shade Rose Gold, or color Rose Gold. And here is me showing off the instructions and whatever, and opening up the clay so I can start using it. But now begins the tedious process of trying to get this clay soft and workable. As you can see, it is very hard, like very, very hard, to the point where right now I'm reaching over and typing on my laptop how to soften polymer clay, and it was just a whole ordeal to soften this. I think I futzed and kneaded and rolled and played with this for a good 20 minutes before seeing a YouTube video where someone suggested Vaseline to soften up the clay. And this is what I did. I took some Vaseline out with a knife because I use this on my lips and I don't want clay on my lips, spread the Vaseline on the polymer clay and tried to knead it to get it soft. And spoiler alert, it didn't work. It just made the clay like hydrophobic and my hands hydrophobic and very hard to clean. Eventually I resorted to sticking it in a Ziploc bag, which you can see in the top left corner, and putting it in some warm water, and that ended up softening it up enough so that I could work with it at least a little bit, even though it still looks like I'm really struggling. But it was soft enough to then start my design. So while I continue to struggle with this clay, let me tell you more about my design. So, a little bit of backstory. My dad's birthday is today. When this video is uploaded, it is my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. But when we renovated our house, my dad wanted to get a cheetah or like leopard statue to go in our garden, and my mom and I quickly nixed that idea. So I thought I will make a little mini polymer clay cheetah that looks like a cheetah statue to go and sit on my dad's desk. So right now I am attempting to mold the head. I jumped between quite a couple reference images. I'll show them on the screen obviously like I do, but I started out by trying to roll a head, but I had to figure out what size I wanted to go with. First of all, I knew I wanted it to sit on his desk, but I didn't know like scale wise, because I'm so used to crocheting and drawing where you make up the scale as you go, or like with crochet I follow a pattern, so someone already knows the scale of what it's supposed to be. But this is the first time I was like, okay, you have a reference image, go. Like, it was quite crazy. But here's me trying to put on some ears. I will say I did struggle with trying to smooth the clay to make it look like one consistent piece, if that makes sense. At the back I did not smooth out the ears because I liked it, because you know, cheetahs don't really have ears that look flat, like they kind of stick out a little bit. With the ears on the head, it was now time to start working on the body, and this is when I switched to my second reference image, which is actually a baby cheetah, but it was sitting at a different angle because I realized I had no way of making the stand. I didn't have wires, so there was no way I could make it stand the way I initially planned. And here you can see me struggling to try and get the like head attached to the body. I tried to score the clay because I've seen people do that with air dry clay, and I'm not really sure if that's something you're supposed to do with polymer clay, but I thought, why not give it a try? With the head now attached to the body, you can see right above me aggressively rolling the clay and making the camera shake. That is my attempt at the head and the body, but now I am rolling out clay to make the arms and legs, or just legs. I'm not sure cheetah anatomy. But basically I'm rolling it out now, and as I'm rolling this out I'm realizing, oh shoot, my second reference image doesn't look as easy as I thought it would. Maybe I jump to a different reference image, which brings in reference image number 3, which does seem a lot more difficult to maintain, but I decided to do the cheetah almost like it's in a stalking position because our cat likes to lie down like that, so I thought this would be fun too. I also used the body referencing of like, how much do I want his paw to be sticking out? And that sort of thing. And also leave a comment down below what you think I should name this cheetah. Well, actually my dad will name it, but if you have any cute comment suggestions down below, let me know if you have any cute cheetah names. But now we are attempting to smooth out the bottom. Heavy on attempting, because the bottom, ooh, spoiler alert, does not look very good. You'll see in the final reveal, but it's a good thing this is the bottom and that it won't be seen. This also kind of reminds me of how the legs are kind of like moving and dancing. It kind of reminds me of like a jelly cat, which has like really like loose limbs, if that makes sense. That was weird. Anyway, but now I'm going to start working on some hind legs. Oh, and now I'm trying, oh my gosh, it looks like I made it into a duck. I think I was trying to add some more clay to build out the snout of the cat's snout. I really need to look at some cheetah anatomy. Trying to build out the face of the cheetah a bit more because I felt like it looked a bit flat, almost a bit puggish, but I'm glad I smoothed that out and didn't make a duck cheetah or a pug cheetah. But let's just speed up until I have something to say. Now for the hind legs of the cheetah, I tried to make this snake or like polymer clay rope where it was thicker in the middle and thinner on the outside, just so that I could get a bit more of muscle definition, if that makes sense, with a cheetah, because like think of it with our legs are not the same width the whole way going down. There is thicker at the top and then thinner close to the paws / human's feet. So that's what I was attempting to do here, and once again struggling to smooth out the clay. Also, if you see my nails looking weird, I had stickers on them, like nail stickers, and they broke off, so let's not make comments of my nails. I recently redid them and they look much cuter now. With all the legs, arms, whatever, I'm not a botanist, I don't know what anatomy of a cheetah is, we've already established this, but I'm starting to work on the tail because I know cheetahs have a tail and they have a very fluffy and like gorgeous tail. And this is when I started to worry of, oh, once again we're met with the conundrum where I don't have wire. How am I going to make this tail stand up like I wanted to? Because I could make it flat like it is actually hunting, but I liked the elegance and like the flow of having the tail up. So I ended up having the tail rest on the body. Here's me smoothing it to the bottom, and you can kind of see how the bottom looks like a big mess or gemors. So I am just smoothing it out right now before figuring out the proper resting position of the tail, I guess we want to call it. And this is when I also started having my concerns of, oh no, there are some pieces that are a lot thinner than others, and this needs to bake for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch, because that's how polymer clay gets hard. I don't know how much a 1/4 inch is. I could have pulled out a ruler, but I grew up with centimeters. And so that was a bit of a conundrum figuring out how it was going to bake, because I was pretty worried about some of it getting burned before the rest of it was finished cooking. But now that we have our basic, I want to say shell, but that's not right, like our basic body of the cheetah, it is now time for me to start doing some detail work. And the detail work included me using a chopstick to make a nose. This is my Totoro chopstick that I got in Japan, which I do use for food, but apparently now I use for polymer clay. Don't worry, everything got thoroughly washed after this, but I'm just trying to indent out a little nose. This is actually referencing the first reference image where the clay was almost indented and darker, where the like eyes and tear stains and spots are. Speak of tear stains, that is actually how you can tell the difference between a cheetah and a leopard. Cheetahs have the like running mascara look down their face and just spots, where leopards have roses. I'll put up reference images right now so you can see what I mean. But essentially right now I'm just taking my chopsticks and making those little spots all over the cheetah, and later, once this is baked, I will go in with paint to just reinforce the spots. And here I go in with the pen. I almost said pen. No, this is definitely a pen, to make the tear stain mascara running down its face effect, which you might not be able to tell because it is very lightly done, but you'll definitely see it once I paint and reinforce all these details. Initially I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint this or if I wanted to use like shoe polish, because I've seen people do that before where they rub shoe polish all over it and then wipe away so it's just left in the indents, but I didn't have any shoe polish and I did have a lot of paint, so once this is done baking, we're gonna give this guy a cute little paint job. And I'm just looking at it because, oh, it's so cute. I was kind of zoned out while I was doing this, just focused on making it perfect, but I think it looks pretty cute before going in the oven. So let's all say a prayer to the clay gods that this will not burn, shatter, or anything else scary that could happen, and we'll see it once it is baked. I preheated the oven to 275, then popped the little guy on a tiny little parchment paper square and put him in the oven. And he may have been in the oven for a little bit too long because he came out quite toasted, leaning on burnt. Yeah, my fear about the different pieces and different widths and was vindicated, but we're just gonna ignore that for a little bit and mix up some paint. I have metallic black, orange, and copper because I still want it to have that shiny statue feel. I then mixed up the colors to get my perfect shade or sheen or whatever that I wanted for the cheetah. This is when I got to the part where I felt a bit more confident. I've done lots of paintings, I've done lots of mixing of colors, I guess, but I felt a lot more confident with doing in the detail work because the hard part was over. And as I'm painting, you can really see the inconsistency of his coloration, which leads me to the comments. Guys, if you are a polymer clay artist, please help me. What did I do wrong? And how do you avoid this in the future, where you have one piece that is done baking before the rest of it? Do you bake the pieces separately and then like Lego piece them or like super glue them together? What do you do? I just have no idea. I probably should have done more research, but that's the whole thing about most creative person alive. I'm just trying these different creative hobbies, not expecting to be perfect at it, because no one is perfect at anything the first time you try it. So I am just giving this a shot. You can comment down below if you think this was a fail or a success, but honestly, that doesn't matter to me because this is just me trying and me trying my best. That may have been a bit sappy, so let's just speed up. Watch me filling in all the paint and all the little details. This made me realize I want to get a dotting tool because the pen was fine, but I've seen people using dotting tools which are just a bit more stable and I think would have been a bit better for painting spots on a mini garden cheetah or just painting detail work anyway. And this I actually enjoyed. I used the back of the pen, like the pen head, whatever it's called, to make the spots, and they came out quite circular, which I was quite happy with, even though cheetah spots are not all circular. And without further ado, here is the final product, all dry. I really actually liked how this turned out. I think it turned out cute. I think you can tell that it's a cheetah, and yeah, I may have struggled with polymer clay. Oh yeah, here's the ugly back that I was telling you about, but I may have struggled with polymer clay, but that just wants me to keep on trying. So comment down below if you think I should keep on trying with polymer clay or if I should just stop and call this a mediocre success. But I hope you enjoyed this video. You could subscribe if you wanted to, and while you're down there, tell my dad happy birthday. I love you so much, Dad, and I hope you enjoy your cheetah, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.